This is Texas Rugby's interview with Teshay Flowers ahead of the Texas A&M versus TCU Red River D1A rugby match. I'm Grant Cole with This is Texas Rugby, powered by T5 Sports. Teshay, how are you today?
Doing great today. It's good to talk to you today, Grant.
All right, Teshay, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been coaching at TCU and what brought you there?
This is my third year at TCU. I was helping them with the sevens program about 3 years ago while I was assistant coach with the Fort Worth Rugby D1 men's team. One thing I noticed throughout the D1 rugby landscape was a lot of the programs were getting players that were ready for D1 rugby. Being that TCU had been a big feeder school, a lot of our players were still new to the game. So I figured I could better help the D1 men's level if I went to TCU and actually helped them at that point.
And what were your expectations coming into that position as TCU rugby coach?
You know, I'd never coached at the college level. I'd helped with some high school men, and I've played for quite a while. So really no expectations. I did want to change the atmosphere and the culture. When I first moved to Texas, it was more of a social fraternity-like culture. That began to change, in 2000s. A lot of the college programs got more serious about their game here in Texas to match what was going on the coast. So that's the first thing I wanted to do, was adjust that culture.
Okay, so this has been a challenging season for you. I've talked to you before about that. What are you doing to what are some of those challenges you've had to face this season?
Well, really, the big thing is numbers. What we're pulling from is a little bit more difficult, and make no mistake, it's not an excuse. It's just that is our biggest challenge as we get players in. We're recruiting better. We're getting higher quality of players, establishing relationships with high school programs, both here in Texas and the different areas in the United States, my home state of California. So we're getting in better recruits. It's just those players without the rugby experience, which make up a majority of our team, getting those guys to come in and buy into the culture and remain with the program.
Talk about some of your games this season, and it seems to have been, from the outside looking in, it looks like a roller coaster ride this season.
Definitely. We had some tough games, and I don't think the scores, even in the win, really reflects how the game was played. But to be honest, our guys have put in more fight as this year's going on. I mean, there's some tough competition in our conference. We opened with Oklahoma and LSU, and those are two programs that I think will do some damage in the playoff structure. Then we played a really tough, always scrappy Texas Tech team where we actually played our game, and the score reflected it. Texas, it's always a big rivalry whenever you can play the big brother in the state. That one ended in a tie. It was somewhat disappointing, but it gave our guys something to grow on. Baylor, the same thing. It's another huge rival, probably the closest to us in school size, style. They're probably about a year ahead of our progress. But Mason's doing a great job down there. And if you watch the film, the score doesn't come close to reflecting the game. We held possession, we held territory, we just didn't execute.
What are you gonna take out of that to bring into this Texas A&M game? You said you played your game against Texas Tech. How are you going to make that? How do you want to make your guys make that happen against A&M?
The big thing for us, and I've spoken with my guys over this past week, the big thing for us is really look for work. I mean, that's the big thing that I've really preached to my guys. Whenever we get out of sorts, we regress. So what I've asked my guys, especially my tight five, is to look for work. A&M's a strong program. It's probably going to be our toughest game all year based on where the season's at, what they're trying to accomplish, because they need a big win to get into the D1A playoffs. And just like I said, where we're on the season. So all the bugs have been worked out of most of the club's system. So they'll be ready. They play a wide open game. They look to test both sidelines. And then they have some scrappy players. That number 9 they have is just a hell of a player. So we know we have our work cut out for us. But I know that I'm going to bring, a group of guys that are ready to play. And if they beat us, they're going to deserve it.
So I asked the same question of James Lowry, and I'll phrase it the same way with you. Coaches don't ever like to single out one player. They like to, when they're talking with talking about their team, but every team has that one athlete that basically embodies the spirit of what the school and the team is and keeps everybody moving in the game. So who on the Horned Frog team stands out as that maybe not the captain, maybe not the president, but the one team that's basically the spiritual leader of the Horned Frogs team?
Really, it's two players, but I'll start with. I mean, it's hands down. It's Dylan Thiel. He's our best player. I've known Dylan since the first day he picked up a rugby ball. He plays for my Bonobo squad during the summer, and he is the coach's player. You know, he's going to go out there. He's going to compete. He's going to lead his team. He's going to do the work that needs to be done, and at the same time, he's going to take everything that you tell him and try to make himself better. So without a doubt, he is our heart and soul. You know, not having him last week for Baylor, it changed the game. It's huge. But he's a senior. He's doing some things that he needs to accomplish for graduation, and school is always the priority. So Dylan is definitely that guy. But really close behind him is our team president, Zach Trigg. And I've just watched Zach grow as a player because he's been here since the day I got on campus. And a guy that really I had chalked up to, hey, he'll be a good guy as part of the program. But now he's a leader. He's played 6 different positions this year, and he's going to go out and give us this all. He's undersized, but has huge heart.
Finally, you know, you get your team out on the field at practice every week and try and get them to do what they got to do. What is the one thing you want them to execute this weekend that you've trained them on? And I think you said that when you're talking about looking for work, but is that what you think will help them win?
Oh, it's huge. With the way that the game is played now, it's not 3 meters in the cloud of dust. It's not 8 guys committed to a ruck. You know, if you do that, if you don't win that ruck, A&M's going to have 10 guys in the back line ready to spread the ball on you, and all guys that are capable. So you have to look for work. You can't rest at the ruck. You can't rest at the breakdown. You have to have your eyes up looking because, like I said, A&M's going to spread it out, and it doesn't matter who their point man is. You know, it starts with their scrum half, but they may have a lock as first receiver, and their fly half is 3 men out. We know that they're going to spread the field. So if my tight 5 can't get around, if my back 3 can't spread and not just have 4 guys at the guard dog position, we're in a world of hurt. So it's real clear what our statement is for this weekend. It's look for work. There's no resting. It's 80 minutes, and we'll worry about everything else. You have the whole summer off.
One more thing going into next year. What do the Horned Frogs want to do moving into the following season after they've had? How many seniors are you graduating this year?
We are losing 3 seniors. One of them just started playing this year, but 2 guys with a bunch of heart. Dylan Thiel and Brandon Terrell are huge. It'll be hard to replace. But as far as next year, we have some great recruits coming in that are already committed to TCU. When I looked at the back line that I put out against Baylor, and really it was not even the back line. You could start it at the flanker all the way to 15. There wasn't anyone above a sophomore. Most of them just got the right to vote. So I was really happy with that. Our freshman class this year, Bryce Watson has been huge. Extremely talented player. Took a little while to get adjusted to the size here in Texas and just the speed of the college game. But every game he's getting better. Having Dylan out last week showed me what he can do as a leader. So as far as next year, like I said, this year was a disappointment. We thought we'd really make a bigger push for a conference championship, but that goal remains the same next year. We'll have a really young group, but I'm starting to get more guys in from big programs in high school, San Diego Mustangs, Culver Academies, rather than guys that are coming in and want to find things to do when they're not with their fraternity.
Well, Teshay Flowers, I thank you for your time today, and really hope that we're going to be there at the match, live streaming it noon on Saturday, April the 2nd from Pemberthy Rec Sports Complex on Texas A&M's campus. Tim Wilkes, I think you know Tim.
Yep.
And Tim Wilkes and I will be calling the game, and really look forward to seeing you there.
Oh, so it's great to see you. I look forward to it also, and I appreciate all the hard work that you guys do. I know you're going to put out a great product. It's up to me to make sure it's a good product on the field.
So thank you, Teshay. And this is Grant Cole with This is Texas Rugby, powered by T5 Sports, and we thank you for watching.